back to the channel. Today we are replacing a clutch master and slave cylinder on my 2006 Nissan Patrol. So here we are on the mighty Patrol, the mighty TD42. What we're going to be doing today is replacing the clutch master cylinder, which is right here, and our clutch slave cylinder, which is down the side of the transmission. Now on a Patrol they have an external slave cylinder. On most cars they have what they would call a concentric slave cylinder. So most cars, your slave cylinder will be on the inside of your bell housing. On a Patrol, it sits here on the outside. So what we're going to be doing is draining the fluid out, replacing both the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, re-bleeding it with some fresh high performance brake fluid, and then yeah, we should be good to go. Now the reason that I am doing this is because I've noticed that when I'm towing, I start to get a really weird pedal. I've did a lot of research on a few of the Patrol groups, and when the pedal starts to go down and stick to the floor, normally it's your fluid that's the issue. Being the car has a lot of kilometers, I'm just going to throw a new master and slave cylinder on there because it wasn't that expensive. The slave cylinder was about 50 bucks and the master cylinder was 125 bucks. Plus your fluid, which is, I can't remember how much that is because it's that long ago. We're probably looking at about $250 for everything to get done, which is really, for the sake of what needs to be done and the longevity of it all, it's not that much to pay at all. Being this is the tow vehicle for my channel, and also for my camper trailer. That's right, camper trailer's here, which means the Falcon is gone as well. So yeah, we've had a bit on in the last few days, well, weeks, months, so I haven't been posting too much. Got a new job, doing shift work, so give me a break if I'm not the best. I've just got enough a week of night shift. Alright, we're going to get stuck in here now. It should really be nice and easy. We've got 4 bolts to take out, 1 line, and then we've got a bleeder. I do have a 1-man air bleeder right here. So if you have a friend, which I don't seem to have any friends with me today, they can normally do the pumping for you, but since I'm Captain Solo, we'll be running this, and I'll just use the compressor in the back of the car. So hopefully this is going to go nice and easy. I always loved that it was nice and quiet until I pull my GoPro out and then everyone decides they need to mow their lawn. It's an absolute pain in my ass. Alright, so basically what's happening is we'll use our bloody sucker tool here and we'll suck all the old fluid out. As you can see just from looking at that fluid how old it really is. It's pretty bad. Look at that. That should not be that bloody disgusting. So we can only assume that this fluid hasn't been changed in a hot minute. So we'll take that out. Also, don't forget brake fluid will stuff your paint, so just be careful where you start putting stuff. If you look inside the old master cylinder, you can see there's just a layer of just shit on the bottom of it. So yeah, that probably won't be helping either. So we'll have to do a full flush of the system, which is what we'd be doing anyway. So our next step, once we get all that done, will be to get down the bottom there and crack that nipple and then suck all the old fluid through. Now, particularly on a Patrol, they are a pain in the ass because your fluid is here, then it goes through this line here, and then it runs up over the top. At least with my old Patrol, what I found was I got a massive airlock in this top line here, so it can be a pain in the ass to bleed out. But we'll see how we go, because last time I didn't have the correct tool. Also looks like there's a filter down here that we might be able to have a look at as well, so we'll give that a crack. We'll open that up and clean that out too while we're here. Now, when also doing any brake related stuff or clutch related stuff, it's always good to have these C-spanners that we got here. You can use a normal one, but being sometimes these lines can get a bit shit and they can seize up, these sort of spanners will make sure you don't round your fittings. So you don't need them, but it helps. So we'll get in there, undo all this. Oh, I just dropped the lid. That's a pain in the ass. And then yeah, we'll get in, crack this open, get the job done. Look at that, nice and easy. So yeah, we'll get this off and then we'll move on, change that filter, or at least open it up to see if it is a filter. Just like that. Undone, how good. So when we put the new one in, there is a little gasket. I don't know if you call it a gasket, it's more of like a fabric O-ring maybe. I'll show you what I mean. We just have to make sure we get that in the right spot. Shout out to Magnet Trace so you don't drop shit. Alright, boom. Yeah, there's that gasket I was talking about. So we'll make sure we put that back in the new one. Clean up in there, make sure there's no shit in there as well. Just make sure it operates good. And then we'll chuck the new one in. And there you go, that's what a clutch master cylinder looks like with 300,000 Ks on the clock. So not the best, but you know what? That's why we replace stuff. So we'll just get rid of that. Throw the next part in. Okay, well that's fantastic. We'll jump onto the other side now. Okay, so now we're going to replace what I'm assuming is the strainer. So those sort of, it's just down here for you playing at home. So what I'm assuming is it'd be similar to what's on a few of the other stuff I've worked on. They've got a little screen in there. We can pull that out, spray it with some cleaner, throw it back together, and it should be good to go. Now you can see by how the the clutch, you can see by how the clutch lines run why it could potentially be an issue here, because they run so close to our exhaust. Like, there's not much of a gap between the two, which isn't really the best, but you know, it is what it is. I am taking the dump pipe off at a later date and exhaust wrapping that. I'm not going to film that because it'd be a waste of bloody time to film it. Alright, so judging by how that master cylinder was, I can only assume that this is going to be just as bad. This was a pain in the ass to get apart. That. Okay, make sure you take it apart the same way you took it apart. Put it back together, sorry. So springs, so we got those springs there, make sure they go back the way they were. And you basically want to look for any blockages in here. You can see, I don't know if it picks up on the camera. You can see through it, so that's a good sign. It means we haven't got any blockages. So this isn't a strainer. I'd say this is more probably a dampener, so that you're not going to notice that. Alright, so now after pulling this apart and realising that it's not a strainer, it's just a dampener of some sort, we'll at least we've cleaned it out, so now you guys know, so we don't need to ever pull that apart again. We'll chuck that back in the rig, and then we'll start undoing the slave cylinder. And then once that's done, new fluid, and then we'll use our bleeding tool to suck the fluid through. Alright, now for the fun job of doing the slave cylinder and getting covered in shit. Now, I did try to suck some of the fluid through earlier, but the bleeder is fully rusted and blocked, so not ideal. You get that on these big jobs, but so what we're going to do, if for those of you who don't understand how this works, so normally a concentric slave cylinder, I think I actually talked about it in the clutch replacement on the FGX. So this particular style has a fork that runs through the middle here, that pivots off here. Basically, when this is pushed out, it will move the whole fork, which will then compress your clutch so that you can then change gears. Amazing. Simply incredible, I think. Far out, I'm falling apart. It's been a full-on week. Alright, so to get the slave cylinder off, pretty easy. You got a banjo bolt on the side, and then you've got your two mounting bolts around this side here. Just remember, if you haven't sucked all the coolant, wow. If you haven't sucked all the fluid out of your lines, when you crack that, you're gonna get fluid pissing out. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you don't get any in your eyes because it will sting real bad. So we'll get this all off. There are two washers on here, two little copper washers. Make sure you don't lose those as well, because if you lose those, you're gonna have sealing issues. So we'll get this off. Also, quick note, on the pipe there is a little L part at the very end. Make sure that that goes into this hole. Where is it? That hole there. So it just helps it all keep into where it needs to stay in the right spot, you know what I mean? So just make sure that all goes back the way it was, if you plan on doing this at home instead of sending it to a shop. Shout out to Nissan Patrol Parts down there in Beenleigh for hooking us up with all the parts too. Great people down there. As always, they've helped me out a few times already with this car. They got me a diff center, nice and cheap, because the diff decided to shit itself a week before I got my new job, which was great. But you know, always come into clutch. So if you're in the Browns Plains area or Beenleigh area, make sure you go down to Nissan Patrol Parts and hook them up. So we'll quickly get this out and then we'll throw our new parts in. This really isn't that hard to do. Also, just want to make sure everything is clean as you're going. And I completely forgot to film all of that. I'm sorry. So basically, yeah, it's all done. Don't worry, I'll fix the boot up later. Once we do a few cycles, it should be good anyway. Okay, so we're going to connect our bleeder up to our nipple. Then once we've got all the fluid in the reservoir, we'll be able to send it. So this is going to be a pain in the ass for me to film it and also do it by myself. So I might just set the camera up and then I'll just struggle and you can watch and enjoy that. Basically what we need to do is get our air bleeder hooked onto the nipple, crack the nipple, turn this on, and theoretically it should suck all of the oil, well, fluid through, thus removing air bubbles, since I'm Mr. Lonely over here with no friends. Alrighty, so we've had that going, up there pumping the clutch, and also making sure our fluid is going down, which it did. I've topped it up. I've got a noticeably better pedal now, so when you first notice it, you'll notice it'll be real shit. Still a bit spongy, but we'll get that last bit out down the track. That feels bloody way better than it did originally. That's good. That's good. So now that should hopefully fix our issue with the clutch pedal. If you're having a hard time with doing this, you can always run the car, being that it is a vacuum assisted clutch booster. It'll make it a bit easier, but I don't feel like listening to this old donk running while I do this, so yeah, I'm happy as with that. So I'll take it for a test drive and I'll be done. Got a few more things to do on the car today, but that's going to have to wait for another video, unfortunately. So I hope you enjoyed this very short, terribly instructional video. We do have a few videos coming out in the next few weeks, so yeah, I look forward to trying to get a bit more back into it, just adjusting to the new roster and that. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Keep on boosting and we'll see you in the next video.